Hello everyone, I hope you're well. My name is Simeon, and in this video I'm going to show you the latest additions in Lavina Beta 2.3. To start, we have a new camera manager, which is essentially a camera lister in which you can arrange, edit, set and modify your camera points of view. So let's move around and create a new camera by clicking on this button. And you can see that by double clicking I can just rename that bed. That's okay. Let's reposition the camera and add another one. Let's name this, I don't know, a table close-up, yeah. And then we can find a new point of view somewhere here, maybe. Yeah, that's okay. Expand the field of view a bit. Yeah, that's okay. Let's set up a new one. Name this painting. Let's find another one. Yeah, let's change the field of view again. Zoom it a bit. Good. All right, let's create another one and name this plant because we can see the plant. All right, so if I double click on the thumbnails, I'm switching between the cameras. And also you can see the F2, F3 numbers. These are essentially the hotkeys. So by pressing those from the keyboard, lets me navigate again between the different presets. You can rearrange the cameras by using those arrow buttons and change the order. So now the table close is associated with F3, and by pressing F3 I'm getting there. You can also readjust some camera and update its view by pressing this button. And now if I go between F2 and F3, I have the updated views. Additionally, you can also delete cameras by pressing this button. So if you press it once, you can see the red frame. But if you press twice, the camera will be deleted. This is as a fail-safe so that you don't accidentally delete your cameras. All right, this is pretty useful if you use the camera mode, which will loop between all of the cameras. And you can change the order of the cameras again in the timeline by pressing this button. Now we start first with the table close, painting, and plant. This way you can direct your animations through the different presets of the cameras very easily and have an expected result. Additionally, we added support for some 3ds Max lights, native lights such as the direct light. And let's have a look at the parameters. I'm going to switch actually to the advanced tab first so that we have a look at the more different parameters. But essentially, this is the standard light, the standard directional light in 3ds Max. We're not going to have a look of all of those parameters here. I'm going to bring this color back and have a look at these parameters in the other types of lights, such as the Omni or the Spotlight, because they're very similar. So let's turn this off and have a look at a closer part here. Turn off the Omni light. You can see there is no bulb here, so let's go ahead and unhide this object to be more realistic. All right, now you can see that if I adjust this, you can see that the shadows casted from this light are very, very sharp. This is because it's a point light source and there is no area. We can fix this by assigning some area to the shadow casting of the light. This can be done over here in the shadow shape, and make sure that soft shadows is turned on. So let's switch to sphere and increase this radius until we get some nicer soft shadows. All right. And I'm going to reposition this just a bit, maybe too much. Right, okay. Another specific parameter to the native 3ds Max lights is the decay options. And you have various options here. No decay, inverse distance, or inverse distance squared. and the start for the decay, which essentially changes the intensity of the light or the fall off of the light. Okay, let's bring this back to 30. And let's have a look at another point of view. By the way, I wanted to mention the denoiser now keeps sharp what's behind refractive objects. You can see the paintings are now nice and crisp as opposed to the previous version. So yeah, this is a new addition that we did. Let's enable the spotlights that I've prepared in advance here and have a look at the parameters there. All right, as you can see, the majority of the parameters are the same, but the difference here is that we have a fall off for the hotspot, making the penumbra very sharp or soft. But disregarding that, the shadows are still sharp. We can change this the same way as with the Omnilight, just adjusting the shadow shape. We can use box or sphere. I'm going to try to increasing the box one, maybe a bit more, 10. This is the shadow from on the right. Let's use sphere and drastically increase that. Now it's soft, maybe too much. Yeah, 20 would do. And do the same for the other spotlight, sphere 20. Now we've lost the shadow kind of, but you can still see it on the lower frame. Okay, another parameter here is again the decay. It's actually the same as the one from the Omnilight, changing the start of the fall off. Let's do the same for the other one. And a very particular set of options for these lights is the near and far attenuation, which allows you to restrict the light contribution from a certain start with a fall off and up to a certain limit. Basically, you can make a band of light using those options. And this is valid for all these 3ds Max native lights. We can also assign a projection map, which you can see this is a texture of a tree. Let's reposition the light so that we can see it a bit better. Essentially making a projector with this texture. All right. And if I increase the radius of the spotlight, you can see the tree a bit nicer. Okay. Let's go back to the original point of view and turn off those lights. And finally, I wanted to mention about the quality of life improvement. If you right click on a user interface control, it will reset to its default value. Let's see how to demonstrate this. Let's go to the camera settings, to the post-process settings. Let's select another LUT. Yeah, I kind of like this one. And no, actually, let's use the cold one. And if I right click here on the highlight burn, it goes to 1. Or if I right click on the exposure slider or the value, you can see it goes back to 0. And I can quickly go back to the no exposure value like so. So these were the main highlights of Project Lavina Beta 2.3. Thank you and take care.